12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
ESPN 1530.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt. Pay off all your credit cards. Consolidate everything into one lower payment. Mo Egger here. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you got to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands of dollars out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this, on average, save $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a lot of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. And if you call today, not going to make any house payments till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 513-800-1550. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quote now, 513-800-1550. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Unapproved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted. They may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Tri-State Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. Which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Boost your festivities this season with a hassle-free holiday loan from Emory Federal Credit Union. Spread cheer and joy with cash you need for gifts, travel, home improvements, or whatever makes you happy. Members get 1.85% off your holiday loan. For more information or to apply for a personal loan, contact any Emory Federal Credit Union branch or apply online at emoryfcu.org. Hurry, offer ends December 31st. Restrictions apply. NMLS number 401087. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Ohio or Kentucky attorneys. 513-823-2020. Office in Florence, Kentucky. 201 East 5th Street, Suite 1310, Cincinnati, Ohio 45202. Rick Julius. Licensed in Pennsylvania only.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Sports fans, don't miss the CEI Sports Holiday Sale. It features great football, baseball, and entertainment items perfect for the fan on your list. Call 513-489-3400. Online at facebook.com/CEI Sports or visit the CEI Sports Showroom in Blue Ash.
Make the most of your holidays with the Kroger app. You can enjoy over $600 in digital coupons every week. Get access to low prices and earn fuel points to save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. The Kroger app makes it easy to save this holiday season. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I love spreading joy with gifts this time of year, but I try not to spread my budget too thin. Luckily, Kohl's has come through for me once again. I just went and used a 25% off coupon to score so many great gifts under $20, like cozy pajamas and fleece, amazing gift sets, and beauty must-haves. So if you're looking to give more for less this season, get to Kohl's. Select styles, offers end December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Many of our U.S. veterans and service members face challenges. At the Bob Woodward Foundation, we invest in solutions to help support them in the next chapter of their lives. Learn more about our work at bobwoodwardfoundation.org/success.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. First of all, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Secondly, I'm not here today. Third, I'm a team player, so I'll tell you that James Rapine's on for me today, and you should listen to him starting at 3:05 on ESPN 1530 Cincinnati Sports Station.
Abdullah, the lone setback. He gets the handoff, cuts through the right side of the hole, still on his feet at the 5, racing in the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. Oh, Amir the Magnificent. What a season. He hands the ball to Jackson Powers Johnson. Big man spike. Raiders lead.
That's what it sounded like on Raider Nation Radio, 9:20 a.m. Jason Horowitz on the call. Amir Abdullah with the touchdown run. That put the Raiders up 19-14, and they win that over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 19-14. Third victory of the season. It is Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80 and TuneIn. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Alongside my guy, Jonathan Zaslow, I'm Q Myers, and you heard Zaz say, bad win. The Raiders were sitting there at 2-12. Now they're 3-12, and Zaz, they go from being the number 2 overall team as far as picking in the 2025 NFL draft to currently number 6. Jonathan Zaslow says, bad win.
Yep. Second place reverse standings now to 6th place reverse standings with probably 3 teams in front of you right now. Cleveland, Tennessee, New York Giants, who would take quarterbacks in what is likely a 2-quarterback draft. It's weird, Q, because you cover the team. You're also a fan, all right? And I've been through this before here with the Dolphins. We all know tank for Tua. That was a whole big thing as well. I know what's good for my team as a fan. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I always side with management as opposed to players when it comes to what's best for the team or disputes of the team, because the team's goals, management's goals, are usually more in line with the fans' goals, all right? And this is one of those scenarios where the players and the coach, they want to go out there and win games. But management, they know losing is best, and the fans also know right now losing is best. But as a fan, I never had it in me those years where the Dolphins are terrible and we're tanking and tank for Tua, where I know what's best for the team, and the losses certainly, they hurt a lot less when you're in that spot, but I'm never able to go into the game as a fan saying, all right, let me buckle up for 3 hours on the Zaslow Mansion family room couch and just hope that the Dolphins lose and don't do anything. Like, the loss, it doesn't sting, but I can't sit there rooting for losses.
No, and look, the players and coaches aren't going to look for and root for a loss either. And Antonio Pierce, the Raiders head coach, let that be known. Matter of fact, doubled down on Monday when he met with the media.
The drought, any message for Raider fans who are upset that you guys fell down the draft board?
No comment.
I guess just talk about the attitude the players have after the game and the attitude today, and just how important that is to see, the effort that they put in and get victory and what it means to them.
Yeah, man, look, we work 80 hours a day. Or 80 hours a week. Staff, players coming here, they're 40-plus hours to work. We don't do this to lose. We don't do this for anybody's fantasy football team. We don't do this for anybody's drafts, projections. None of that matters to us. Only thing that matters is winning. And that's all we want to do.
And clearly they haven't done enough winning this season that they're in that position right now as they've won 3 games. Again, that was Antonio Pierce who met with the media on yesterday. But from a coach's standpoint, Zaz, he's coaching to prove that he deserves to be the coach moving forward. From a player standpoint, they're playing to prove that they're in position to be players, whether it's on the Raiders, on the Dolphins, on the Chiefs, on the Chargers, whatever the case may be, they're proving who they are. Everything they do is on wax. That's their resume. So they can't go out there and dog it. They can't go out there and play half speed. 1, you'll get injured. 2, you won't get a job.
It's a very tough spot. all right, and Antonio Pierce, let's say he's on board with this plan that the Raiders, they need to lose the rest of their games, and you want to make sure that you lose the rest of their games, so you're making weird coaching decisions, and you're losing by 4 touchdowns each of these games. Well, you get fired, and then in your next job interview, the staff, the management group of the team that you're interviewing with, they're asking you, what the heck happened there at the end in Vegas? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? What was behind this decision? And what are you going to do if you're Antonio Pierce? You're going to sit there and be like, yeah, I was trying to lose. Well, they definitely don't want to hear that if you're interviewing for a job. But the part that I will say, I'm totally good with Antonio Pierce giving the no comment there. I thought that's actually the right approach when he says no comment to that question. But you can't chastise the fans in that spot. You got to. It's a tricky situation for the coach because let's be honest here, the fans want what's best for the team always. Antonio Pierce wants what's best for the team right now. The fans are going to be around a lot longer. They were there before Antonio Pierce, and they're going to be there after Antonio Pierce. And Antonio Pierce, when he's not there any longer, is not going to care what happens with the Raiders. The Raider fan is always going to care what happens with the Raiders. So you got to be careful, if we're getting upset with the fans and what they want, when the reality of it is the fans want what's best for the team, period. The coach and the current players want what's best for the team right now, and those two don't always align.
And I don't think, and being around Antonio Pierce as much as I am, I don't think that he was chastising the fans. I think he just didn't care for the question. You know what I mean? I just don't think that he cared to answer the question because, as he literally went on later on to say, is that they do it to win games. And he knows that he hasn't won enough games. I can say this, being in the locker room after the game, seeing the players dancing, seeing the music all loud, seeing the owner of the team going and shaking everyone's hand, high-fiving them, telling them it's a long time coming, but great job, guys. That was genuine. That wasn't manufactured. That wasn't fake. The owner of the team, Mark Davis, was in the locker room fired up about that win because it had been 10 weeks since they had got a last victory. They last won in September. They were 2-2. They were 2-12 leading into Sunday. So Zaz, for those players, and you've dealt with this experience in Miami, and look, Lovie Smith won in Houston. Everyone was angry. They fired him. And guess what? It ended up being the best thing for the Texans. They got the number 2 overall pick, and instead of taking the guy they were going to take, in Bryce Young, they ended up with C.J. Stroud. It ended up being the best thing they could do.
It's hard, man. These guys, they put their body on the line every single week. And just from a mental perspective, if I'm one of those players, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm literally putting my health on the line every single week. Every single snap, I could get seriously injured. I mean, you saw what happened with Tank Dell the week before, the Miami Dolphins, Grant Dubose. I mean, it looked like he was paralyzed, Thank God it doesn't seem to be the case. These guys are putting their bodies on the line, and the player, can think how the fans want them to then go out there and lose. And that's a really tough thing to balance. It's a weird situation.
It really is. It's a slippery slope, and players don't want to hear it. Fans, they know all about it because, again, they're looking at the future. He's Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers. It's Greeny, presented by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Coming up, we'll see the NFL versions of Wife Swap tomorrow. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people would mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
ESPN 1530, Cincinnati's sports station.
Want to improve your health, energy, and longevity? Discover the secret to better health with Viome. It's the world's most advanced microbiome test, and you can take it from the comfort of your own home. Viome is the only company that uses RNA technology to tell you how your body reacts to food. More than 370 foods, in fact. And food is the key. If you eat and avoid the right ones, food can be your medicine. Viome's AI technology creates a personalized plan that tells you exactly that. Because some healthy foods may not actually be good for you. Like 50% of people should avoid spinach. Are you eating right and still unable to lose weight? Feeling moody or having mental fog? Maybe it's spinach. Test and find out. Viome is also the only company that can create customized supplements based on your unique biology to help you improve specific areas of health. Go to Viome.com to learn more and get $110 off any test using code IHEART. Viome. The future of health is here.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel's got a ton of ways for you to pick up a W. Not only can you bet on who's going to win the game, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score, and a ton more. Just go to FanDuel.com/Mo to join today, and this way you'll be all set for the biggest games of the year. That's FanDuel.com/Mo, and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a beautiful piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop this holiday season than Genesis Diamonds. Hi, it's David Cooper at Genesis Diamonds. We've put together our most impressive selection of cannot-miss gifts, rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, for every taste and every price range. From diamond classics to the newest, most amazing designer fashion-forward jewelry. And our selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches has never been better. And just for December, we're offering 5 years, 0% interest financing on any holiday purchase. With this special offer, everything's affordable. Just pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that's your payment. So come to Genesis Diamonds, let our experts help you choose that perfect headliner gift for this holiday season, and spread your payments out over 5 years. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details at GenesisDiamonds.com. Happy holidays from all of us at Genesis Diamonds and Luxury Pre-Owned Rolexes on Montgomery Road.
From the Baker Cooling Tempstar Weather Center, here's your forecast.
This report is sponsored by PayPal.
Not nearly as cold this morning as temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s. We stay mainly cloudy throughout our day and temperatures only top out in the mid 40s, but it is a little above average. For Christmas tomorrow, back into the upper 40s for a high. Rain chances, though, during the middle part of the day. That's your 9 First Warning forecast. I'm meteorologist Cameron Harden.
This season, the PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app. And with the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
From the ESPN 1530 studio. Powered by Madewell Restoration. Greater Cincinnati's roofing and exterior restoration experts. Madewell Restoration.
This is 1530 WCKY,
Cincinnati.
the 50,000-watt orange and black home of the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Jim Basquill. The Green Bay Packers turned in the first shutout of this NFL season while clinching a playoff berth by way of a 34-0 thrashing of the Saints on Monday Night Football. Josh Jacobs ran for 107 yards and a touchdown. He scored in 6 straight games. Green Bay improves to 11-4, earning their 5th postseason appearance in 6 years. Texans receiver Tank Dell will miss the remainder of the season with a dislocated knee and torn ACL. Houston, as a result, claims receiver Deontay Johnson off waivers from Baltimore. He joins his 3rd team this year. NBA Sixers center Joel Embiid, ejected in the first half last night against the Spurs, had to be restrained from officials by teammates. He was playing in just his 8th game because a previous suspension as well as several injuries. Tristan DeSilva scored 18, made a big three in the closing seconds. Magic rallied from 15 down, beat the Celtics 108-104. Boston without Jason Tatum. And Hawaii Bowl tonight, ESPN Radio, South Florida, San Jose State. Coverage comes your way at 7:30 Eastern.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Football, and more football. We got plenty of it, including the game coming up. Matter of fact, multiple games coming up on Christmas. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80. We're also on your smart speaker, presented by Progressive Insurance, alongside Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers. We're in for Greeny, and man, we got games coming up. Week 17, Zaz, gets started tomorrow.
So all right, I got to ask you here, all right? You're celebrating Christmas. I'm not. You know,
okay.
we're a Jewish household, so I'm certainly going to be dialed in. You got the NBA tomorrow. You got the NFL tomorrow. But what about in the Myers household tomorrow? Is it a problem that you got the NFL on during the day and it's Christmas, or are you able to be locked in?
Oh, no, I'm locked in. Oh, I can give a rip about Christmas. Oh, yeah, it's all good. Hey, look, man, I am the Scrooge
This guy doesn't have a Christmas tree, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Whoa, is that right? You don't do the Christmas tree?
Listen to how he treats gifts that he gives to his children.
I mean, that's one of the things for me. Like,
throws them at him.
That's one of the things for me, because I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm like, man, having a Christmas tree would be very cool.
Yeah, he basically just takes the gifts, throws them at his kids, and says, "You're welcome."
No, this is what I do, Zaz, and I think that you could understand this and even respect it. I always tell the kids, do you want a tree or do you want gifts? And you know what they choose? The gifts.
It's a ridiculous binary proposition.
Trees are really expensive. Again, you're going to have to forgive my ignorance here, all right? It's not my holiday. Trees are really expensive?
I just don't get into putting a tree up, then taking a tree down, decorating a tree, having to water a tree. Even if you get a fake tree, it's like, okay, what's the point? I'm just not built like that. I don't need lights on my house. I don't need any of that. I'm not that guy. So
now, has it always been like have your kids when you had kids living, you had young kids?
Yeah.
Like, were you always depriving them of a tree?
I mean, not necessarily, but I mean, I had like a little small tree that you could put on the table for a little while. That's easy to dispose of, right? I mean, it's not a big deal.
On the table.
Yeah, so I'm hey,
December 26th, just throws it in the trash.
Oh, yeah. Because, see, and then there's people that are lazy that'll keep their tree up forever. I've walked into someone's house where their tree is up and it's like February. I'm like, what are you doing with that?
At least they got one. I think you're the lazy one for not getting one at all.
No, I'm smart.
I don't understand. How you have the tree, like you're sitting down for dinner, you say, hey, pass me the ketchup, just move the tree over a little bit?
No, it's a small tree, Zaz.
I know.
It's like a decoration. It's like something, it's like a centerpiece. It's not a big deal.
So the presents go under nowhere. You just hand them to the kids.
Yeah,
they chunks them.
I'll just look. They're lucky
Happy
they get
Christmas.
the gifts wrapped.
Here you go.
They're lucky if they get gifts wrapped. A lot of times I'll do. Back in the day, me and my dad, we were famous for wrapping gifts in newspaper. Right? We'd wrap it in newspaper.
Who cares what it's wrapped in?
Reusable.
Nah, good for you.
Exactly.
Good for you. Who
See?
cares what it's wrapped in? I'm with you on that, man.
Exactly. Does not make me
You could
any difference.
read a comic while you're opening your gift. It's a good 2-for-1 special. What did Peanuts have to say today?
We would do that.
No,
There's
I love
joke.
it.
We would do that.
Hey, while you're unwrapping the presents, what time's the movie playing later today?
Exactly. What time does the football game come on? How about that?
How many hits did Harper have last
Exactly.
night?
I'll tell you though, Q. I mean, my favorite, my son and I, we exchange the text messages now. We love the Grinch videos. That is our favorite thing during Christmas time. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Grinch pranks. You know what I'm talking about?
No, not at all.
What? You don't know the Grinch? What? These families, they prank their kids now. We're talking little kids, maybe like 10 years old and
younger.
younger.
Where are you seeing these videos at?
YouTube, social media, TikTok. You ever heard of TikTok?
Yeah, I don't do that.
These Grinch prank videos where the parents are recording and they get a knock on the door and it's someone, a family member, you know? I don't think it's a rando. Someone is dressed up as the Grinch and they run into the house and they start stealing the gifts.
Oh, man.
And the kids,
that's horrible. I gotta watch this. I've never heard of this.
What?
See?
The kids are freaking out. The kids are crying hysterically. They're running around the room. They're hiding behind the couches. And the Grinch is stealing the presents. And then he runs out, and the parents are laughing, and they're filming. You don't know about Grinch pranks?
I mean, the Grinch cartoon is one of my all-time favorites, so I gotta go watch these.
I've never heard of this either.
Oh, my
I'm not
God.
on TikTok, and so I mean,
I'm not.
we're not as hip as you,
Yeah,
Zaz.
you're the hippest one here.
I mean, I'm going to forward you into the group chat that we were preparing for this show, the one my son sent me yesterday. These Grinch pranks, it is my favorite. These kids are freaking out.
I mean, it sounds horrific. If you're a kid and all of a sudden a Grinch shows up and steals your presents.
I mean, when I was a kid, I was terrified of like anyone dressed up in any big costume. Like I didn't like Chuck E. Cheese. I was scared of Chuck E. Cheese, and he wasn't stealing presents.
Yeah.
Like you add that in with
But
them.
he was a big rat.
Imagine being a kid in a huge green.
Oh my God, that's
barrels into your
horrifying.
house and steals all your presents.
Guys, these kids are losing it. All right,
rightfully so.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
I'd be losing that if that happened to me right now.
That
Someone
sounds
breaks
like back
down
in
my
the day.
door and takes the new video game I was going to play. That's terrible.
Do you remember back in the days, Zaz, when they had scary Barney videos? Do you remember that?
What would happen in those? Refresh my memory.
He looked like he was just the old lovable Barney. Then all of a sudden he'd like jump out like a horror film thing and be like, scare the mess out of you.
Really, I don't think I saw.
I saw that once and I was like, no, thank you.
My brother had a giant dressed up Elmo at his like third or second birthday party.
Yeah.
All the kids were terrified. So you put anyone in a big costume, they're going to be scared. Let alone when they're snatching stuff from under the tree. That's awful.
I'll tell you. But these, it is a dirty trick.
I love
that
it,
these
though.
parents. I love
That's
it. It
funny.
is my favorite thing going right now.
Well, maybe I'll check that out a little bit on Christmas, since I don't have to worry about a tree, cleaning up a tree. I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah,
we get it all done real quick.
No
and
Grinch is
easy.
coming to Q's house. The Grinch already lives there.
Yeah, hey, look, I'll be that guy. I'll own the Grinch title. If that's the worst thing that people ever call me, I can live with that. I'm okay with that. I have no problem. I'm just not the holiday dude. There's really on Halloween, I turn my lights off. I don't even give out candy. So I'm not into anything. I tell you, this is what I'm into, is what we do. So when the Chiefs are in action on Christmas Day, guess what I'll be doing? I'll be watching that. And then the NBA, I'll be watching that on another TV. Like, that's how I'll be locked in. That's how I get down. The Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, Texans, they're all doing a wife swap, right? All these teams played on Saturday. Now they're switching opponents, and they're going to play tomorrow. I'm fired up. And if the Chiefs win, they're gonna have the number 1 seed, and they could basically be off Zaz for like a month, which is probably not a good thing.
That was my biggest thing going into the game this past weekend. And by the way, the Chiefs are playing again tomorrow. All right, but that was my biggest thing going into the game this weekend, where it's okay. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Do you bring him back on a short week? So we're going from Sunday to Saturday, and then also you have Saturday to Wednesday. So you have to deal with this. It's a delicate scenario. But here's the thing: if you don't play him on Saturday, and then maybe you don't play him on like if the ankle is not 100%, you don't want to throw him out there not 100%. What happens if they wrap up the division? Because they can wrap up the division tomorrow, either a win or a Buffalo loss, which, let's be honest here, the Bills are playing the Jets, a Buffalo loss. But they could wrap the whole thing up. And then why would you play him in Week 18? And you're talking like 5 weeks off for Patrick Mahomes. And I get it. Rest is good, but there is such a thing as rust. Rest versus rust is a real thing here in this scenario. You can't sit him for that long.
It's hard to balance it, though, isn't it? Because you know all the injuries that he's had. He's obviously dealing with the high ankle sprain. He looks fine, by the way. Didn't look like it was bothering him at all on Saturday when he takes off for a 15-yard touchdown run. So it's really a fine line. It's almost one of those where if they win and they beat the Steelers tomorrow, then he's got to play a little bit, right? Maybe the next week or...
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, even if it doesn't necessarily have to be the whole game, but you dress them,
call
start
some
them.
screen passes, running plays. Like I think you got to get out there. I do.
It's gonna be. I guess that's the problem that they've got to face, right? The Chiefs, they're favored by 3 points. If you look at ESPN bet against the Steelers, I'll tell you this: as much as I'm paying attention to what the Chiefs could possibly do, and they could possibly, wrap up that number 1 seed, I'm also interested on the Steelers side of things to see who they are, right? I mean, they had that 3-game stretch that we all talked about. Right, I remember Hembo on this fine program we call Greeny on ESPN Radio said the Ravens the Steelers are going to go 0-3 in their next 3 games. The Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. They can't afford to do that. They're 0-2 so far. The Steelers really have to win this game.
Yeah, it wasn't so long ago where we were talking about the Steelers and the number 1 seed is totally in play.
Yeah.
And now, they're 4 losses worse than the Kansas City Chiefs right now. They're not going to wind up catching the number 2 spot either. And there's a very real scenario. Like, if we want to be honest here, a Steeler team a few weeks ago that we were talking about in contention for first in the AFC. We live in a world where the Steelers can be the number 7. That's true. They're a loss ahead of number 7, 6 and 7, Chargers and Broncos. Of course, they're tied atop the AFC North. They currently own the tiebreak because of conference record against Baltimore. But we're in a very real place where if Kansas City wins tomorrow against the Steelers, Pittsburgh goes from hosting a first round, also a second round game, to the 7 seed playing every game on the road.
So they need this win. They really need this win. And Kansas City, obviously, they need the win because they do want to get things wrapped up. They don't want to let this thing linger, right? Even though, playing's not necessarily a bad thing because, as you mentioned, the rest versus the rust, and that's a real thing. But, the Chiefs, I'm assuming that they're going to get the dub, right? I'm just assuming that they're going to find a way to win. Again, they're favored by 3 points when you look at ESPN Bet. To me, I look at this team and say, okay, what's going to be their Achilles heel? What is going to stop them from achieving their ultimate goal, which is the 3-peat? I say it's the offensive line. What says you?
Okay. Not to say that you're wrong with saying the offensive line, because we know that's an issue. But for me, it's going to be the defense. Okay. And not that the defense isn't up to snuff, but we can clearly see, and I like the way the Chiefs have built this team, this new version of the Chiefs compared to when they won their first Super Bowl, what they've done the last couple Super Bowls, and especially what they did last year, and then going into this year where they have clearly put an emphasis, especially on the money, on the defensive side, which makes sense to me because if we can have a great defense, we have a quarterback who we know can bail us out of situations. We know he could win us games on his own. And he's not necessarily on his own. He's still got Travis Kelce there, but we know he can do it and be magical on his own. So let's make sure we are great on defense. And that's why I say the defense here would be the most likely reason if they don't three-peat, because if they don't hold up their end of the bargain and allow Patrick Mahomes to be in a spot to be magical and win them playoff games.
No, that makes sense. It really does. I just kind of look at the body of work and the fact that Patrick Mahomes has been hit so many times and sacked so many times this year. And the last time they lost a Super Bowl was why? Because Patrick Mahomes was on skates the whole game, right? Because Tampa Bay had him running around like a chicken with his head cut off, right? I mean, he was that guy. And so if anyone could do that to him, if they do that, it's going to put them in a really bad and tough position. Now, to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' credit, they answer the call more often than not, right? When you think that they're in a compromising position, when you think that Mahomes' ankle is too bad, he can't go. I was that guy. I was that dummy that last year I was like, oh, nope, can't get it done. Ankle's all jacked up, not going to make it happen. And yeah, they made it happen. And that might even have been 2 years ago. At this stage of the game, it's like every year I see the reason why they're not going to win, and then they
that's called
they do win.
Q. That's the rope-a-dope. You're falling for the rope-a-dope each season. And you know what? I'm falling for the rope-a-dope a little bit this year, too, with the Chiefs, because we had all these doubts with Kansas City last year, and they threw it in our face, and we're doing the same thing again this year where we treat the Chiefs like they're a 500 team, the way that we talk about them. They're 14-1. Like they're 14-1.
Right.
Last year, they lost 6 games last year.
Yeah, they were 9-6 at this point. They were about to lose to the Raiders on Christmas Day.
They lost 6 games last year, and now we move ahead to this year. They're 14-1.
They've lost 1 game since that loss to the Raiders on Christmas.
Yeah.
They're what, 19 or 20-1?
I think 20-1 since then.
That's
they lost to the Bills.
What?
That's ridiculous.
Wow. Anyway, you say it like that. I mean, this is what a stupid question.
That's
What's most likely reason the Chiefs won't three-peat? What a stupid question. 20 out of 21?
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. That part. Yeah, that's just, honestly, if you're the Chiefs, you're just being disrespectful at this point. You're just being flat out disrespectful at this point. But it's man, I mean, there's got to be something that will get them if they get got. And like I said, I would say that it's going to be the offensive line because we've seen it, what it looks like if they can't hold up. You say the defense because they've got to be the heavy lifters as they've been. We'll find out sooner rather than later. Matter of fact, you can let us know on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN. You can be a part of the Greenie Nation on that Dr. Pepper call-in line. ESPN Nations presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of a nice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Cam. Oh, Cam, I know you got some sneaky trivia for us, don't you?
I do. Don't worry,
I'm
Q.
good at trivia.
Don't worry, Q.
It's about Christmas trees.
It's, How much did Q's last Christmas tree cost? We're going to spread some holiday cheer by talking about losers Talking about losers coming up. So your task, you and Zaz and Bubba, are to name the 3 NFL teams with the most losses in history. The 3 losingest NFL teams in history, going all the way back to 1920.
Okay, so way before Super Bowl era.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The losingest teams in NFL history.
All right, he's Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers.
Miami
Coming up,
Dolphins.
we'll attempt to answer that question.
Why we got to do fighting words? Christmas Eve.
Next, Greeny on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hi, this is Ryan McGee. This is Marty Smith from Marty and McGee. All of us at ESPN Radio would like to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and a happy hug.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
ESPN 1530.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com.
Skyline gift cards make great last-minute gifts. Now through Christmas Eve, you'll get a free $5 gift certificate when you buy $30 in Skyline gift cards at participating Skyline restaurants. See store for details. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
It's open enrollment. Are you looking at one of those ACA Obamacare plans? Stop. Health insurance is complicated. Everyone's situation is different, and there are multiple options to choose from. When planning health insurance for you and your family, you need to consult an expert. John Rollman at Cover Cincy has been helping people get the right coverage at the best rate for years. Cover Cincy's plans are available all year round, and all patient services have a $0 deductible. You choose your doctors and hospitals, and it's 30 to 60% lower than Obamacare. If you pay your own health insurance, you are uninsured, or your employer coverage is too expensive, call John, an expert with over 20 years' experience, at 513-800-2255. That's 513-800-2255. Or go to covercincy.com. That's covercincy.com. A premium, personalized plan, managed and designed by you, not the government.
In today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Everyone can help keep our roads safe. In my truck, I'll remember to follow at a safe distance. When you need to merge in front of a truck, please leave plenty of space. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Hey, it's Mo Egger. First of all, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Secondly, I'm not here today. Third, I'm a team player, so I'll tell you that James Rapine's on for me today, and you should listen to him starting at 3:05 on ESPN 1530 Cincinnati Sports Station.
I'll say this. It's always good when you realize that you're not on an island by yourself. And clearly, I am not. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, also on your smart speaker. We're presented by Progressive Insurance alongside Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers. You can be a part of the show. Hit us up on Twitter at Zaslow Show, at your boy Q254, and, of course, at ESPN Radio. We've got the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776, and DJ Trevor Lamont on Twitter. My guy.
What's he got?
He tweeted at us and said, Q, I'm completely with you on the holidays. I hate them all. LOL. Great job on Greeny, by the way. That's my guy. As long as me and DJ Trevor Lamont
Misery loves company.
Hey, that's all right. We hang out together, and it sounds like he's got the tunes on the wheels of steel. So not only will we have a good time in not enjoying holidays, we'll have a good time with some good tunes.
I mean, the holidays, though, are about making your family happy, though. It's not all about you.
I've been making my family happy all year long. Sometimes it is about me.
Okay, all right.
Right? I mean, we do everything all year long to make sure everybody's happy, everybody's comfortable, everybody has what they need, right? Why I got to go extra later on at the end of the year?
Meaning, why do I got to buy a Christmas tree? Is what
exactly.
You mean.
Exactly. You want a Christmas tree? Go on out back and find one of those trees out back and hang out around that bad boy. I'm just saying. Look, that's all I got to say. But shout out to my guy that obviously feels the same way as I do. So we can be Grinch together. Now, Cam is being Grinch with this trivia question that he's got. This question is
a tough one.
Yes, it is. Cam, can you help us out with this again? Give us the question.
Yep, like I said, spreading holiday cheer by talking about some losers. We're looking for the top 3 NFL teams in losses in the entire history of the NFL. So the 3 teams with the most losses in NFL history.
Okay.
I feel like we're pretty comfortable with the Lions.
The Lions been around for a very long time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we just got it's got to be just oldest team.
It's got to be old team.
Because they're just stacking up wins and losses.
Right.
So. Yeah.
I think the Lions are perfectly.
You want to
Okay, I'm going with the Lions.
The Lions are correct.
Yes.
They have the second most losses in NFL history with 707.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of like the Cardinals because
I think the Cardinals been around as long as anybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a super old team, and for most of my life they've been terrible. So
I feel good about the Cardinals. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Cardinals are correct. They are number 1 with the most losses with 803, almost 100 more than any other.
I was going to say that. I knew it was 803. I was going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard you about to say it.
Yeah.
So we said Bears.
This one's going to be hard. I lean toward Bears, but I want to hear you guys.
I kind of lean towards Browns.
I mean, the Browns. Wow.
All right, let's not have too much dead air.
Yeah, silence is bad.
What are we talking about?
Silence is bad.
Yeah.
Hey, I
I like Browns, but look, whenever I like something, the best thing to do is go against what I like.
That's all we need to know. So Q's thinking Browns.
I'm thinking Bears.
He's thinking Bears. If Q says Browns, let's go Bears. The correct answer is Bears. Let's do it.
Okay.
The correct answer is the New York Giants. 649 losses. That is third all time. Then the Commanders, Eagles, Bears, Rams, Packers, Steelers, Jets, and then the Browns.
The Browns were like in the middle of the pack.
My bad. I told you that they had some success. I just didn't know how much, so my bad. All right, well.
I mean, they were like the best team for 20 to 30 years.
That was
back in the Otto Graham, Paul Brown
think
days.
Of the old Giants.
New York Giants.
I didn't think anything about the Giants.
Giants have been around since 1925.
Hey, well, look, this is my reasoning here, Zaz.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
That's pretty good.
If it's baseball, right, we're all stars.
Oh, you go to the Hall of Fame if you get 2 out of 3 in baseball.
I'm just saying. So there we go. I'm sticking with we're all stars here on this fine program we call Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, and on your smart speaker. We're presented by Progressive Insurance alongside Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers, and Cam, you're not done. We're going to keep you working, man. We've got a lot for you today. Let's keep this party rolling, man. Are we gonna do some overreaction? What are we going to do? Rebuild it? What are we going to do?
We're playing a little rebuild, retool.
Ooh, I'm good
we're
at this, yeah.
Looking into next season and considering, do these teams need to pretty much strip it all down or just make some minor adjustments to be back on track next season? Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. They are 7-8 right now. Right now, they would be drafting 15th in the NFL draft. Their projected free agents, Brandon Cooks, Zach Martin, Zeke, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Trey Lance, and right now are projected to have the 24th fewest amount of cap space. So, Zaz, do the Cowboys need to rebuild or retool for 2025?
The Cowboys need to retool. Look, this is a team that came into this year 3 straight seasons, 12-plus wins. They're going to finish around 500 this year. They've done a nice job, clearly not quitting on the coach. Real good performance this past Sunday night. The rare home win for the Cowboys against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is a retool kind of situation. I think they could be right back to being one of the better teams in the NFC next year.
Yeah, they got their quarterback. They've got their wide receiver. Those guys are under contract. So when you have those two foundational pieces, you feel pretty good about the direction moving forward. They have some guys on the offensive line that you feel comfortable with. Obviously, Zach Martin, that's going to be a big replacement that they're going to have to do. But yeah, I'm with you. Retool 100% away. If you got the quarterback and the wide receiver already under contract, there's not a rebuild necessary.
The Carolina Panthers coming on strong the past couple weeks. They get a win. They're now 4-11. Where right now would be drafting 7th next year. Their projected free agents are Andy Dalton, Austin Corbett, Shaq Thompson, and their punter Johnny Hecker. They have the 20th fewest cap space heading into next year as of right now. Q, do the Panthers need to rebuild or retool in 2025?
I think that their quarterback is starting to figure it out. So I'm not going to say that they have to rebuild. I'm saying they're going to have to retool around that quarterback. I still believe in Bryce Young. I think he can figure it out. I think he just needed a little bit more time. Sitting him down early in the season seems like it's done some really good things for him. He figured it out. He's getting a little bit more confidence. So I'm going to rock with they just need to retool around him, their quarterback, but he could end up being that guy. Yeah, retool.
The correct answer is the Carolina Panthers need to retool. I'm with you, Q. You know, we live in this, microwave society nowadays where everyone needs to be great. You need the production right away. That's nonsense. You know, Bryce Young went number 1 overall, and if he wasn't selected number 1 by the Panthers, the team right after that would have also taken Bryce Young. It's not like this was a stretch or a reach in selecting him. He's going to be a good quarterback. We're seeing the signs of it now. Coach first year, second year next year. Like, let them build together here. Mm-hmm. This Panther team looks like they're coming together with the quarterback situation. You got to give it time because they've been a rotten franchise. So I'm going retool with Carolina.
The Cleveland Browns, a rough season for the Browns after a miracle playoff run last year. And by miracle playoff run, I mean they lost in the first round. But it was a miracle that they made the playoffs. The Browns are 3-12. Right now would be drafting 5th next season. Their projected free agents, Jedrick Willis, Elijah Moore, Maurice Hurst, Nick Chubb, and Jameis Winston. And they have the 31st fewest amount of cap space. They're in the negative right now, Zaz. Do the Browns need to rebuild or retool for next season?
The Cleveland Browns need to rebuild going into next season. The quarterback situation is obviously a disaster. Nick Chubb, such a great running back, suffered the injury last year. Now he's going to be a free agent. There's probably not a scenario where you're going to pay him and bring him back. And unfortunately, a big way to rebuild for this team is to take Myles Garrett and dangle him out there. All right. And if you're going to dangle Myles Garrett, you're in a full-on rebuild. I think that's where the Cleveland Browns are headed.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because they have so much money tied up in that quarterback position in Deshaun Watson. I think the smart decision would just to be to go ahead and let him go. Right, let him go, eat the dead money. Something that we saw Denver do. Atlanta's about to do it as well when they move on from Kirk Cousins. I think that would be the best way to kind of cleanse that organization of what's going on there. They do definitely need to rebuild, but I think the rebuild can't start until you get rid of Deshaun Watson and just eat that money. It's fine. That's why you're in the negative right now. You're right. Myles Garrett is your best bargaining chip. That's what's going to get you the most return as far as draft capital goes, and that's the direction they need. Get rid of Deshaun Watson, eat the money, trade Myles Garrett, and go from there. So,
what do you think you can get? What do you think you can get for Myles Garrett?
I think you can get a first-round pick.
Oh, at least? What else? And what else can you get?
Well, I mean, it depends on who's going to make the call on him. But, yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to give you'll get a first-round pick.
Yeah.
You can get some extra draft capital as well, but as long as you get that one, you're good.
The Jacksonville Jaguars also 3-12. Still keeping Doug Peterson in-house so far. Projected free agents for next year, Mac Jones and Andre Sisco. They right now have the 18th most amount of cap space heading into next year. Q, do the Jags need to rebuild or retool?
Man, I think that they need to... I feel like they have to just retool, right? I mean, they've got their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, even though there's questions about him. Is he ever going to turn into the guy that they all expected him to be? Maybe the expectations were just too lofty to begin with. I feel like they've got to retool. I mean, they have a few pieces there. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr., their rookie wide receiver, is fantastic. They've got some nice young pieces. So I'm just going to say it's going to be a retool, but it's probably going to start with the quarterback, or the head coach, I should say.
The correct answer here is the Jaguars need to rebuild. This is a rotten franchise, all right? We're 4 years into Trevor Lawrence here, and we still don't really know if he's any good. I mean, we're 4 years into Trevor Lawrence, and they're on a trajectory where they're in the mix for the number one overall pick again. If you have the number one overall pick, and we're talking a generational quarterback, how could you possibly be in contention for the number one overall pick 4 years later?
And by the way, Zaz, they picked number one overall in 2022 as well when they took
Oh, my
Walker.
God, It gets worse. It continues to get worse.
Yeah.
And don't forget, before the season started, Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, came out and said, this is the most talented Jaguar team he's ever had since he bought the team. That's very embarrassing now when you see what ended up happening. And a lot of these billionaires, I mean, I don't know by experience. I'm not a billionaire, but I feel like they don't like to be publicly. I'm not a billionaire. Even though I live in the Zaslow mansion, I'm not. I invested all my money. All my liquid is in the house. I don't have anything else left, so I'm not a billionaire. But these billionaires, they don't like to be publicly embarrassed. I think this is a rebuild. You're going to totally hit, the reset button. I think that's probably the way to go for Jack.
Are you moving on for your quarterback then, or are you sticking with him?
Well, you don't have a choice. I mean, they signed him to the contract this past off season. You don't have a choice. Right. But I'm getting rid of everything else because the quarterback's not good enough to carry the team.
Right. Gotcha.
Last one for you guys. Pretty easy one. Zaz, I'll start with you. The New York Giants, rebuild or retool?
Oh, come on. What are we talking about here?
Well, there's questions if they're going to keep Dayball and Shane.
I don't even need to make it dramatic. Normally I make it a little bit dramatic. I want you guys to be,
on
your
appreciate
toes.
that.
Yeah, this is a rebuild, all right?
Yeah.
Come on. What are we talking about here? I know that the owner came out, what was it, about 6 weeks ago, that he's bringing everybody back. I think that's nuts. I've seen enough to know I've seen enough. You move off of the coach. You move off of the general manager. Obviously, you've already moved off of the quarterback. Start this whole thing over. this is a rebuild in New York, Q.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got to be a rebuild there. And the question is going to be, right, the biggest question obviously is, can Brian Daboll, can Joe Schoen, can they use that number 1 overall pick that so far the Giants have earned and look like that they're going to end up with, get their right guy and put all the right pieces in place around him, right? I mean, there is a little bit of young talent there on the team, but it's a little bit of young talent there on the team. Are they comfortable? That's the question. Are they comfortable with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, or do they strip everything down, go and find everything anew, and then decide what to do moving forward? That's really the big question.
That's absolutely what I would do. Like, everything feels rotten around the team. And if it feels the way it does, and look, there's no better time than to hit the total rebuild when you've already moved off of, what you thought was going to be the franchise quarterback. Like, don't put a Band-Aid on a gash, all right? Like, you need to repair this entire thing, and that means starting fresh with everybody. Marry the new coach with a new general manager and allow them to eventually – it doesn't have to be this year, all right, because their draft position – well, they're going to be number 1 overall, it looks like. They're probably not going to win a number 1 game, another game, so they'll probably be slotted the number 1 overall pick. Let a new coach and a new general manager pick the quarterback.
I think everyone has learned or seen what happened in Chicago and said, don't be them, right? Don't be the Bears.
Right, you wasted a year.
Don't waste a year. And so I think that's the reference point that everybody has. And you're not the only one that feels that way. Rex Ryan, who was on DNR on 880 ESPN New York, talked about that same thing.
You're going to come back and try to sell that to your fan base. You've won 2 games. Like, come on, man. This is a no-brainer. You clean out everything. Those that think they're going to stay, they're the ones you fire first. Like, you really think this is acceptable? No chance. Reboot this thing. It's a proud franchise. You're going to bring back a guy that won 2 games? Like, this is a joke. This team stinks.
Hey, listen, Rex, love the honesty. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. The team stinks, and he's right. You can't sell 2 wins, give them a 4th year together, Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. You move off of these guys after 2 wins. No one then reacts as, wow, can't believe you didn't stick it out with Daboll. I mean, they won 2 games this year. I feel like they were heading in the right direction. Nobody's going to have that reaction.
Let me ask you this, though, just to play devil's advocate and just ask about the other side. What if Brian Daboll says, I can do a lot better with my handpicked quarterback, even though he endorsed Daniel Jones, and obviously that didn't work out?
I mean, what else are you going to say? Of course he's going to say that.
Would you trust him because of his track record, what he was able to do with Josh Allen in Buffalo, and even started to have a little success with Daniel Jones? If he had his handpicked guy, do you think it would be any different?
Well, if you had to pick one to not return, the coach or the GM, which would you move off of?
Well, probably the best answer would be you move off of the GM and let the GM decide if you bring back the coach. Let him hire his guy. If he feels comfortable
doesn't every GM want to hire their guy then?
Yeah. I mean, I would think so. But that to me, I think you should always go in the proper pecking order, right? I don't like when coaches hire the GM. Like, how do you hire your boss? Like, I've never in my life hired my boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, that's the guy I'm comfortable working with.
Like, I'm with you, Q, and that's a roundabout way of saying you want to get rid of both of them. Because if you're bringing in a new general manager, which I certainly would, all right, this Giant team hasn't been any good in forever. And you saw the Hard Knocks. What a disaster that they were doing that in the offseason. You can't possibly like the way this organization goes about their business. So you're bringing in a new general manager. You have to let him pick his own guy as a head coach. You can't say, here, you're going to take over the team, and that is your coach. No ifs, ands, or buts. You got to start it all over.
Do you think there's any scenario that would play out where a new GM would come in and say, yeah, I've seen what Brian Daboll, I've seen his body of work, and I'd like to keep him?
No. I think no.
I love that you didn't even think about it. You're like, nope.
No.
I ain't mad at you. Hey, like I said.
Sometimes less is more, Q. No.
I hear you. I'm not mad at that at all. He's Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app. Coming up, is 4 games a big enough sample size to once again change everything in college football? It's Greeny on ESPN Radio on the ESPN app.
Georgia versus Notre Dame.
There's a different feel to the playoff.
Boise State versus Penn State.
The intensity that gets ratcheted up.
Oregon versus Ohio State.
The stakes get much higher.
Arizona State versus Texas. The college football playoff quarterfinals. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You found Cincinnati's ESPN 1530.
JCPenney's Super Saturday sale has last-minute gifts and bigger savings for everyone. This weekend through Christmas Day, wrap up your list with our biggest doorbusters. Grab men's dress shirts and pants, now buy one, get one free, in-store only. Scoop up the coziest sweaters starting at $12.99 and get warm Sherpa throws for $14.99 each. Dash away with all the right gifts, all the right prices, all in the nick of time. JCPenney, make it count. Offers valid 12/20 through 12/25. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.details.
The holiday season should remind us that faith and family are the most important things in life. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We hope that you succeed in coming together this holiday season with those you love to create wonderful memories. Holidays have this magical power to magnify small things into ever greater memories over time.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Ohio or Kentucky attorneys. 513-823-2020. Office in Florence, Kentucky. 201 East 5th Street, Suite 1310, Cincinnati, Ohio 45202. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only.
Feel like you've tried every single fad diet and you're still not losing weight? Or you're not into expensive solutions with side effects that might stop working as soon as you stop using them? Time to get to the root cause and start a plan that's tailored to your needs and to your unique biology. Start by taking Viome's one-of-a-kind microbiome test. It reveals your responses to over 370 foods. Viome is the only company that uses cutting-edge RNA and AI technology to decode your results and turn them into a plan that includes the exact foods you should eat and avoid, plus personalized supplements and biotics to boost your goals. Weight loss problems solved. No more gaining and losing the same stubborn pounds. This holiday season, why not give your loved ones, including yourself, a Viome test? Here's to a healthier, more energized, more vital life. Go to Viome.com to learn more and get $110 off any test using code IHEART. That's V as in victory, IOME.com. Viome. Your personalized plan to lose weight starts now.
Boost your festivities this season with a hassle-free holiday loan from Emory Federal Credit Union. Spread cheer and joy with cash you need for gifts, travel, home improvements, or whatever makes you happy. Members get 1.85% off your holiday loan. For more information or to apply for a personal loan, contact any Emory Federal Credit Union branch or apply online at emoryfcu.org. Hurry, offer ends December 31st. Restrictions apply. NMLS number 401087. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED, and as a Promenic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season. A renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to TriStateMen'sHealth.com. That's TriStateMen'sHealth.com.
Sports fans, don't miss the CEI Sports Holiday Sale. It features great football, baseball, and entertainment items perfect for the fan on your list. Call 513-489-3400. Online at Facebook.com/CEI Sports. Or visit the CEI Sports Showroom in Blue Ash.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Colorectal cancer is now the leading cancer killer in men under 50 and the second leading cause of cancer death for women under 50. The American College of Radiology urges you to get screened starting at age 45. Insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but also virtual colonoscopy and other less invasive exams. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtualct.
Kids, they're just different than us. Finally, their cancer treatment will be too. Introducing the Dare to Dream Project from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Help us transform treatment and care for kids and support all our work at LLS.org.
Cincy 360 with Tony Pike and Austin Elmore.
Got to hit a home run on the offensive coordinator spot. Really?
The Queen City's dynamic duo. Cincy 360, today at 12 noon on ESPN 1530.
The first round of the college football playoffs in the new 12-team format, highly anticipated, did not live up to expectations, but were the expectations too high? It's Greeny on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, also on your smart speaker. We're presented by Progressive Insurance alongside Jonathan Zaslow. I'm Q Myers, and Zaz, we were all fired up. We were all excited about last weekend. First round of the CFP starting on Friday with Notre Dame and Indiana. Fantastic. Now little bruh's been able to get into the games. We're going to see some fantastic action. And, well, we actually did not. We actually saw a lot of blowouts, and so everyone thought, and all of a sudden the conversation became, see, that's why some of these programs shouldn't have been in there. That's why Bama should have been in. That's why Miami should have been in. These other teams shouldn't have been in because they can't hang with the big boys. But little did they know, if you go back and look for 2014 through 2023, the 30 college football playoff games were won by an average of 18.6 points. This year, the 4 CFP first-round games were won by an average of 19.25. So I say all that to say, in a very smart guy type of way, there's not a whole lot of difference.
So I'm glad you pointed that out, because I don't think that the expectation for the first round was wrong, because I think it's okay for us to expect good games when you get to a postseason. But I think the reaction to what we saw has been out of touch, for exactly the reason that you said there. For whatever the reason is, and we've all, for the past however many years, we've had the 4-team playoff. These games are usually blowouts. It happens all the time. There were 10 seasons with a 4-team playoff in 2018, 20, and 21. All 3 games, 2 semifinals, national championship, all 3 of them were decided by double digits. I mean, should we be saying, whoa, the 3 seed and the 4 seed probably shouldn't allow them in to the college football playoff? In 2017, 22, and 23, 2 of the 3 games were decided by single digits. Okay, so only one of them was a blowout. And in 14, 15, 16, and 19, only 1 of the 3 games were single digits. So 2 of them were double digits, technically blowouts if you want to look at it this way. This year, now when we've expanded the field, we're not just talking about a 3 seed and a 4 seed maybe getting blowout. We're talking about you have a 10 seed, you have an 11 seed, you have a 12 seed. So it's okay to expect good games, but the reaction to what we saw, completely out of touch, because these games often enough are blowouts. And the part that really bothers me is I feel like there's been, and this happens because we're dealing with subjectivity, right? Where instead of standings, we're dealing with rankings. So it's opinion-based in several instances who these teams are that get into the playoff based on who the committee believes are good enough to get in. But I feel like the reaction leading up to the playoff, when the committee made their decisions, and certainly after these 4 games that we saw, which for the most part were blowouts, the reaction is too negative. There's too much negativity surrounding something that has been so exciting all season long, that being the college football playoff. Seeing home college football games for the first time ever, games played on campus. It's way too much negativity surrounding this. I'm not having any of that negativity. I enjoyed at the very least. Games weren't good, but I enjoyed at the very least. I liked seeing the campuses host these games. It was an environment that we've never really witnessed before, and I'm all in on these playoffs. Like, I'm good. I will say, though, Q, the one thing that bothers me, okay? And like I said, I think that the reaction has been completely out of touch, but the one thing that does bother me, I did not have a problem all season long. You know, I've been hosting college football tailgate all year long, Saturday mornings on ESPN radio. So I've been dialed into the playoffs and the format and all of it. And I've never had an issue throughout this season on the way that they're seeding teams, meaning the top 4 conference champions get the buys. And that's certainly a valid talking point throughout the year. But I never had an issue because I do think that we should weigh winning a conference championship heavily. I do think that it's important.
It should be rewarded. You should be rewarded, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have not had any issue with it. But I got a problem with it now. And the reason I have a problem with it now was when you see the matchups when they were all set this past Saturday night. And 2 of the games featuring number 3 seed Boise State and the other game featuring number 4 seed Arizona State. The higher seed in those games, those 2 teams that I mentioned, are both big double-digit dogs.
Right.
And that bothers me. That did not sit well with me when I actually saw it when it was in front of my eyes where, okay, the teams that deserve to be there because those are the rules, they won their conference, they get the bye, but the matchups, the further along you get in a tournament in playoffs, the matchups should get better and better and better and better as we go through the tournament bracket. We shouldn't have higher seeded teams double-digit dogs. So staring at it when the matchups were all set on Saturday night, that bothered me.
Well, and one of those matchups you mentioned, Boise State, actually that's round 2 that's going to begin on New Year's Eve. Penn State, Boise State, that's going to be on ESPN radio. That's something to look forward to. But you're right? Boise State is the higher seed, but they're the massive underdog.
11-point dog to Penn State.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to it to see what it looks like. But I knew watching the games over this past weekend, and I knew seeing the results, I knew what the conversation was going to be. And I knew someone in Tuscaloosa was going to be screaming, see, that's why we should have been in there.
No, but you shouldn't have been in.
But they didn't earn it. They didn't earn it. Right. Yeah. But you knew that was going to be the conversation. And so I don't have a problem with it. I'm not one that says, oh, my goodness, there's got to be massive changes because it didn't go the way that, in my mind, I thought it was going to play out. And I did. Foolishly, and that's fine. I'll own it. I thought they were going to be more competitive games. I thought SMU was going to have a shot against Penn State. They didn't. Right? They went to the cold and they couldn't handle it, and that's fine. That's on them. All right. They got a taste of what playoff football feels like, and we'll see. Can Boise State, can they run with Penn State? We'll find out. But I have no problem with that. I just don't want to see a massive change just because it left a lot of people disappointed.
I don't need massive changes, all right? But I feel like we skipped a step. And what I mean by that is, in past years, Boise State having a great year, winning the Mountain West. Arizona State having a great year, winning the Big 12. They wouldn't be able to sniff a 4-team playoff. They would not be in the conversation to be able to compete for a national championship. Now, because you have a 12-team playoff, they are in that conversation. But I feel like we skipped a step where we went from you're not in the mix to now you come all the way over here and you get a bye. There should have been a pit stop in the middle. And that pit stop is, okay, now you're allowed in the playoff because you won your conference, but we skipped that part right there and went all the way to here. You don't even have to play in the first round. So I would make a change there. I feel like we went from point A to point C when we should have stopped at B in the middle.
Yeah, that was a super extreme for sure. ESPN Radio has you covered for bowl game action. Tune in tonight for the Hawaii Bowl. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio on the ESPN app. Zaz, we could do that game, right? We could do the Hawaii Bowl, right? Us sitting there in Hawaii, chilling,
oh my
doing
God,
a game.
Are you kidding me?
I'd be good with that.
In Hawaii, man.
Coming up, the first shutout in NFL this season. Screeny on ESPN Radio.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it.
Like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Tony Pike here, and I couldn't be more excited to introduce my new partnership with Pella Windows and Doors of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. Why Pella? Because like me, they're all about going beyond strength, beyond beauty, beyond durability. It's a Pella thing. Their passion, attention to detail, and commitment to excellence are unmatched. Every window, every door, crafted with care and precision just for you. Let's go Team Pella. Bringing inspired design and lasting quality to your home. Pella Windows and Doors. Build something great.